What is your name, if I might ask?
Colleran, sir. Bob Colleran. How may I be of service?
Mr. Mycroft Holmes is my brother, Colleran. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if we waited for him upstairs.
That would be out of order, sir. You are not expected, sir. Unexpected guests are not received by residents.
There is something particular about that driver, Watson.
You carry suspicion to excess, Holmes. He looks ordinary enough, though his tailor is a good bit more skillful than mine.
Unless I'm mistaken, he has a pistol in his pants.
There are brigands everywhere these days.
But not on Pall Mall, Doctor. Look him over, please. His posture is familiar. Colleran, I assure you I can be trusted upstairs. My brother summoned me.
So you say.
Have you not heard of Mr. Sherlock Holmes? He is our most famous detective. His cases are the talk of all London.
I believe little of what I hear, sir, and nothing of what I read in the press.
I should have identification which should entitle me to some consideration.
Consideration, no. But if you can prove your relationship, perhaps an explanation is owing. That's hardly decisive, sir. M could be anybody.
But it does show who I am.
Perhaps. Look, even if I let you into the vestibule, which I won't, you couldn't get into his flat. I couldn't let you in even if I wanted to, and I don't. Mr. Holmes has the only key. Very interesting.
Could we go in now, Colleran?
How did you come by the keys? Your welfare depends on your answer.
There is no need to manhandle me. Are you a villain?
No. Now make me believe that you aren't.
You are some sort of government official, I take it?
In a manner of speaking, sir. I'll appreciate no more questions along those lines. Let's just say I'm charged with the welfare of the residents here and their possessions.
I don't recognize the character at the door. Be circumspect.
I'll follow your lead, Holmes.
Have you learned anything of significance, Watson?
Perhaps. The driver resembles one of Lestrade's lackeys from years ago, party named Tallboy.
That's right. I remember him now. Do you know my brother was injured in the Diogenes explosion?
You've got my attention.
We took him to Bart. I got his keys from there. I'm not at liberty to say more.
If you don't, you may be without liberty, period.
That sounded distinctly like a threat.
As you like.
My brother summoned me, Colleran, but the explosion struck him down before we met. I'm trying to discover the reason for his rare summons. He is currently unable to speak cogently.
A more straightforward approach might have served you better. I'm still not certain who you are.
Constable Tallboy, isn't it? Could I have a moment of your time?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, though I'm no longer with the force.
Would you be so kind as to vouch for my bona fides to Mr. Colleran?
I wouldn't mind. These two is all right, Colleran. It's Mr. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. Done more than one good turn for me when I was with the CID.
Thank you, Tallboy. Still at your appointed post, Tallboy?
Now and always, Mr. Holmes. It's good work, but not much of it. My clients prefer to walk.
Please ensure we are not disturbed while we are upstairs, Colleran.
Depend on it, Mr. Holmes.
This is promising. Mycroft has devised a message for me.
Indeed, but what does it say?
What it says is obvious, Doctor. The question is, what does it mean?
Pleased to have seen you, Mr. Holmes. My best to your brother.
I believe I understand the instructions. Note the red tint, Watson. Mycroft used sympathetic ink of cobalt and saltpeter. Water sets up a chemical reaction, and heat causes the writing to reappear. It's pure Poe. The message reads, "See books in Greek." Come along, Watson. The game's afoot.
Quite so, Holmes.
Of course, the beginning. Genesis. Who died but was not born? Adam. I am a goose. Aha! He's done it again. If one puzzle is good, two must be better.
If you require refreshment, Holmes, let us retreat to 221B. Mrs. Hudson can prepare something more suitable.
I'm nourishing my brain, Watson, not my stomach. I believe Mycroft has been experimenting with rice water.
Pleased to have seen you, Mr. Holmes. My best to your brother.
As I recall, Poe liked Zaff and a diluted mixture of aqua regia for sympathetic ink.
True. A green tint would prove it. But I don't believe Mycroft used an acid. It might be simple rice water.
Well, how can you prove it?
The proper vapor should provide us with an answer. Yes, rice water by all means. Here it is, Watson, gradually appearing. I'll read it. Sherlock, you've likely heard all of what follows at the Diogenes. I've prepared a digest as much to assuage my anxiety as for your convenience. May you have better reason to consult it than indulgence of my suspicious nature, or that its source is unavailable for comment. Allow me to re-emphasize the central points. 1. The moment the formula was discovered missing, my committee mounted a confidential inquiry. 2. Without substantive progress, the members inexplicably moved to adjourn. They would have terminated the inquiry altogether had I not intervened. Given their recalcitrance, my hopes are not high that we shall meet again. 3. Items 1 and 2 give rise to 2 questions. Who stole the formula, and why did the committee quash the investigation? I haven't a clue to the answers. Regrettably, my committee members must be considered as prime suspects in both matters. They are Lord Dennis Lawton, Mr. Horace Silverbridge, Sir Avery Fanshawe, and Mr. Philip Bledsoe. After initially promoting an investigation, they suddenly claimed that no theft had been proven, and that no vital information had been compromised. This is false. In unfriendly hands, this formula could have catastrophic consequences. Presuming the members are not traitors, idiots, or dupes, are they being coerced to make this patently ridiculous and dangerous claim? If so, by whom, and to what purpose? With respect to the theft, do not neglect ministry clerks, Thomas Pratt and Eldridge Whitney, and a feisty but engaging char named Agnes Ratchet. All 7 have sufficient means and opportunity to remove the document from its restricted room. You must discreetly discover the motive for the theft. I remind you that you have no official standing, and I must insist on complete confidentiality. For the moment, even the ministry must be off limits. Personnel should remain ignorant of your purpose, you may use no police resources, and you have no obvious leverage with the committee. Your inquiry must be organized by my suspicions and your own observations and deductions. I trust they will be sufficient. You've often found my suspicious nature amusing, and my penchant for clandestine measures absurd. So they may be, but as my current misgivings have devastating implications, I've taken these precautions in the event they may be well-founded. Mycroft. P.S. Did I mention that Dewar is securely hidden in Bermondsey, typically oblivious? At last, Watson, we have material facts. We have relevant knowledge and a structure on which to pin it. It's time we made a move, Watson.
Carry on, Holmes. I'll follow your lead.